Alright everybody, this is going to be a short video. I've been researching all day, so I just want to go over a couple things to get everybody on track. I spent most of the day watching everybody else's videos to try to catch up. Last night in my video, I showed some pictures of the kitchen, and this is with like the one Asian looking guy in the navy walking through the kitchen, and somebody had sent me a comment under my videos stating that they thought they saw someone standing behind this rack. So I tried to circle it. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you remember the guy with the mop and stuff walking through here, let me see if I can make this any bigger. Well, I think that made it smaller. You try to get close here. If you look right here, it looks like a head. I think that's what they were talking about. And then the rack's right here, so it has the holes through it. It kind of looks like there is somebody in black in between the sink and the two racks and whatever this little thing is right here, standing back there. If you go to my video from last night, it's around 11:05 to 11:10 in there. If somebody can get a better shot, I took like 15 shots, and this was one of the better ones that I was able to pull out. I want to go over some concerns I have after watching some of these videos today. I don't know if we've raised these questions yet. I've been doing a lot of research on California, and hopefully in the next couple days I'll be able to get the rest of the information out to you. Now this is a place, let me start at the first photo here. This is a place that I found based, what I believe is in Chicago. It's called AeroCare. It's actually an organ, like, transplant, organ escort, two-people flight that transports people for transplants, and I'm assuming organs, to Illinois, Florida, and Arizona. Which I think, if you guys know who World News is, I think a while back he had posted something that the Evanston Funeral Home, where Roland F. Weiss works, they have a exact replica, pretty much, of an Evanston Funeral Home in Arizona. And I don't think that World News is still up and running. He might be. But I do have some of that information that as soon as I do a little more research trying to connect that to California, I will show you. Just so you can see here, I'm not going to read it all. I just want you to see where it states the 3 states. Right down here. Each air ambulance flight has a 2-person medical flight crew consisting of a flight nurse and a flight medic, with bases in Illinois, Arizona, and Florida. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Finest Jewels, if you have the mobile organ transplant ambulance that is within like a mile to 1.5 miles from the Rosemont Hotel, and you find that, I've searched, and I used to be able to find it, and I don't remember what it's called, but I do know that they have like a mobile ambulance that transplants kidneys and stuff pretty close to the Rosemont, so that's something that we need to pay attention to also. I think I gotta go back this way. Hang on. Okay. This name's been coming up a lot today. I'm not too sure who Betty Green is or what they're referring to. Somebody had said that maybe it was like a fake profile for Teresa Martin. So what I did was I went to this profile and then I went through the friends list. And I came across this. Okay? Now I want you to pay attention to the profile picture. Now this is the bottom profile for the Betty Green. You notice this picture? Okay? So it popped right out at me because this profile is the same picture with a different name. Now this profile states lives in Indiana, originally from Wisconsin Rapids. And the Betty Green profile, let me see where that one's based out of. I mean, they're both working in nursing and rehabilitation. So I don't know if it's the same person has one profile or if somebody else is using a different profile, but they didn't do a very good job because they have the same picture on both profiles. I mean, one could be work and one could be a casual Facebook. I don't know. I can barely keep up with my one, let alone I wish I didn't even have one. Probably after this case is over, I'll probably just delete it. Social media hasn't been too fun, and it just seems like everybody's up in your business. It has been a good point for all of us to be able to figure out information, though. Okay? When I was researching California, there was a post in one of the chat rooms, like within the past few days. They said something about one of the places was called Forever Young in California. Do you know how many places in California are called Forever Young? There's nail places, beauty salons, clothing stores, daycares. I could go on and on and on. So I tried to weigh my options here, and because of the mobile organ transplant place that I do remember that's right by the Rosemont in Chicago had LLC on the end of it. Now I know that's just, part of the whole business thing, but I thought it was kind of odd that it was Forever Young Transport, and I'm assuming that it's some type of carrier operating system. What they're transporting, I'm not too sure, but when we're thinking about organ harvesting and the things that we think are going on in this case, this is why I picked this one. And if you go to this website, it will take you, scroll down, it will take you through all the basically, like if you're transporting a truck, if you've ever drove through West Virginia and there's the weigh stations, basically that's what I got from it. And it takes you through all these weigh stations and all the violations that they got. And I'll be damned, almost every single time they got pulled over on one of those weigh stations, they have 1 to 4 violations. So I want you to go ahead and take a look at that. Like I said, when I get done researching all this stuff in California, trying to link it to Arizona and Chicago and Detroit and everywhere else, maybe we'll be a little bit further. Tay Zonde, Chosen King, if you guys are paying attention to this video, this is something that you need to look into because this is way bigger, I think, than we thought. Okay, I showed this picture yesterday and somebody had emailed me. I sent this picture to Beach Beauty to see if she could get a clearer view because I said yesterday in my video that it kind of looked like he was pregnant, but I think it was just because I was so tired. I didn't realize until they emailed me and told me that there was probably an infant or a child underneath their shirt. And a couple other people had emailed me stating that they were possibly sedating these children and putting them underneath their shirts so that people wouldn't see them, which I think is odd, but I wouldn't put anything past them at this point. And the way that they're editing these photos by overlapping them and changing the pixels, as far as we know, whatever's under that shirt could possibly not even be under the shirt. They could just have the kid legs over shoulder carrying it like a normal kid, because these people have no fear whatsoever because they get away with it all the time. We could just be looking at this as a layer over the photo. So if anybody else has any other pictures that are weird like this, go ahead and all my videos have my email address. Go ahead and send them to me. We're going to try to clear these up and see if we can pinpoint exactly why the bodies are odd looking like this. And I'm not too sure what's in his hand. It looks like a big, huge computer-sized iPhone. But then again, it kind of looked like a VHS. I don't know if they even use those anymore, but it's possible. Who was this? This was somebody I watched a video on earlier. I don't know if the name is on here. They were explaining that the blue part in this photo is the swimming pool, okay? And that these were all people. Now, I started thinking about it, and I've done a lot of research on organ harvesting, and the recipient needs to be alive, okay? And if the freezer worked or the freezer didn't work, and you're doing multiple bodies at the same time, my first thought was, this would be like a big bath of ice. Meaning that it would keep the body temperature cold until they were ready to transplant the organs or take the organs. I mean, that's just a little bit of a thought here. So, like, basically, if you had really cold water and you stuck somebody in it naked and then pulled them out, they'd be right ready to go pull out their organs, which is a long process. I know the heart takes at least an hour, and whoever's doing it has to be precise and do it the right way. So it would just depend on what organs they were taking. I believe today Chosen King had said that he thought that all the trannies were dead, and I'm starting to believe that that's true. I know Jaylene Ford and Tiara Richardson were supposed to be in jail for the car accidents, and then they were going to court with, I think, $500,000 bonds October 2nd. Have we heard anything? I think a long time ago somebody tried to call the jail and they said Tiara was AWOL, and they didn't really say too much about Jaylene Ford, also known as Asia Kimball. I don't think there's been any thing on their Facebooks. So that's a concern, especially when we already know that Eugenia Walker, Alfredrick Bump Ellis. How about the guy that was in the hospital from the car accident with the torn spleen? Did he ever make it? Like, it seems like they tell us so much in the news, and it's always the Chicago Tribune, never anywhere else. They tell us so much, and then it's like we're just supposed to forget about it. And I think because we're all coming together and we're not forgetting about it, it's putting pressure on them, and that's why they keep releasing all these different photos to try to confuse us. But all they're doing is giving us more information because we're digging further. Okay, Brad, I'm trying to think of his last name, Farrell, has been flipping these photos. So I'm not too good on computers, but I tried to figure this out, and I flipped this photo. And I want you to pay attention to this he/she's hair, okay? Look at the hair. It has like a whole extra head on the back of it when I flipped the photo. And I honestly think this is a woman. I could be wrong, or they have a mask on. But when I flipped it, this little girl didn't change at all. And it's a concern to me that the photographs that we have are two different girls. I've stated that before. What is happening to these kids? And where are their parents? And she has two different outfits on. There's one point when she goes down to the restaurant and gets something to eat for like an hour or two. I think Sherry Schreiner had put something out on that. So I want everybody that's like looking at these photos to start flipping them, because I'm starting to follow Brad, and when you flip these photos, you start seeing other things. Okay. I think Straight 8 had this girl in the lobby with a towel on her head. I think her name was Coco, but I think it was a tranny. I don't remember what her full name was, but somebody had told me today that this was Jaylene Ford. I don't think that this is Jaylene Ford. I think that this is somebody else. Would explain why she's still in the footage, because other than the hotel room, if Jaylene Ford played Irene, when did we ever see... That's another good point. When have we ever seen Irene leave that hotel? When have we ever seen the guy dressed in all black who's friends with Kenneth Tart with the sideways blue and black hat by the pool leave the hotel? Those are two people plus Jaylene Ford that I don't remember ever seeing leave the hotel. These are the little things that we need to start paying attention to, because it's going to add up to all the victims that died that night. Let me go back here and see if there's anything else that I want to show you. Somebody else had emailed me about the Michelangelo dude, and they stated that the Michelangelo dude looked a little bit, from what I'm gathering from it, looked a little bit heavier set than Gina's husband, but then I think they possibly changed their mind, if that's what I understood from the next email, or I read the emails backwards. Brad had also put this photo up today, and he went through them really close. This looks like some type of, I think he said that like a person was standing here, and then this was somebody laying this way, but it kind of looked like a hospital bed. To me, it looks like a crib, but I have a hard time seeing through these photos, and he went through them really slow, and it looked like they were doing something to possibly Kanika or another girl, and then slammed her on the bed. So go check out his videos. He's basically been going through these photos and flipping them and showing us what they really look like. My next question would be, I was paying attention to something Tezande had put on her Facebook, stating that she had found something and she wanted Teresa Martin to contact her, and she also sent it to the P.O. box. I want to ask everybody that's doing this case, regardless of your opinions on what you think's going on with Teresa Martin. She lost her daughter either way. Where is she? That's a question that keeps popping up in my head. Where is Teresa Martin? And if we all think about it, when is the last time we physically saw her alive? How do we know she's alive? Somebody else had stated that when Kenny Lee Martin Jr. got out of prison, he did a live. I watched a little bit of it. This is probably why I didn't see it, because I didn't watch it all. But they stated that one of Lenore's little twin boys ran in the room and took his phone and gave it to Lenore, and she shut it off. Well, now Kenny Lee Jr.'s Facebook is down, And we haven't heard from him since. So where is he? Is he alive? I also want to state, tomorrow I'll look for the names. But from my understanding, Lenore is not Teresa's daughter. Her family lives in Warren, Ohio. And I have the background check somewhere. But that's another concern of mine. Why would Lenore turn off Kenny's phone like he wasn't supposed to be on it? Because from my understanding, the person that I had talked to stated that they didn't see Teresa Martin in the house during his live. Now, you would think that if he just got out of prison, she would want to spend some time with her son. So where is she? And now where is Kenny Jr.? And as easy as it is to... I mean, we already know they're hacking all these Facebooks, and they have multiple profiles, and they're hacking us, and they're hacking our YouTubes, and everything else. It's not going to be hard, just like they did with Kanika at the hotel, to send a text making Teresa Martin think that her daughter was okay, or the last time they had talked to her was 1:30 a.m. Because anybody can send a text. Anybody can have somebody else's phone and send a text, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So how do we know Teresa Martin and Kenny Jr. are still alive? And I'm hoping tomorrow that Jay Moneybreed gets on Fact Check and he has some answers to what's going on in this situation. Because I don't ever remember today Montclair speaking to Monifa and whoever else she was supposed to talk to. And maybe she had a long flight or a long drive and she's planning on doing it at some point before Christmas. I don't know. But I know that we were all probably pretty looking forward to getting some answers. And yet we're still stuck here in awe, like, what the hell is going on? Let me look at this piece of paper here real quick and make sure I don't have anything else to say. No, I think that's it for tonight. I'm going to get some rest. I'll be back here with you tomorrow. And like I said, if anybody has the time to research this Forever Young in California and let me know what you find, I'll put my email address in the comments and we'll go from there. Everybody have a good night and I'll talk to you soon.